Ha ha ha. Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Reading with Drew. I'm Drew, of course, and I'm going to read, of course. So I'm super excited. We're going to finish the Four Agreements. We're on the last section of the book, and it is by Miguel Ruiz. And I'm probably saying that dumb, but that's okay. It's a practical guide to personal freedom, and we're gonna wrap this up. It's so powerful, it's so strong, it'll bend your mind and open some doors to thoughts that you probably never knew you had, especially at a young age. I think teenagers should really read this just to kind of gain perspective of others and themselves. So okay, let's see. So the last part is the new dream, heaven on earth. And then after that, there's some prayers, which is cool. And I'm going to read those too. So here we are. Going to finish the Four Agreements. Let's dig in. All right, heaven on earth. I want you to forget everything you have learned in your whole life. This is the beginning of a new understanding, a new dream. The dream you are living is your creation. It is your perception of reality that you can change at any time. You have the power to create hell, and you have the power to create heaven. Why not dream a different dream? Why not use your mind, your imagination, and your emotions to dream heaven? Just use your imagination, and a tremendous thing will happen. Imagine you have the ability to see the world with different eyes. Whenever you choose, each time you open your eyes, you see the world around you in a different way. Close your eyes now, and then open them and look outside. What you will see is love coming out of the trees, love coming out of the sky, love coming out of the light. You will perceive love from everything around you. This is the state of bliss. You perceive love directly from everything, including yourself and other humans. Even when humans are sad or angry, behind these feelings, you can see that they are also sending love. Use your imagination and your new eyes of perception. I want you to see yourself living a new life, a new dream, a life where you don't need to justify your existence, and you are free to be who you really are. Imagine that you have permission to be happy and to really enjoy your life. Your life is free of conflict with yourself and with others. Imagine living your life without fear of expressing your dreams. You know what you want, what you don't want, and when you want it. You are free to change your life the way you really want to. You're not afraid to ask for what you need, to say yes or no to anything or anyone. Imagine living your life without the fear of being judged by others. You no longer rule your behavior according to what others may think about you. You are no longer responsible for anyone's opinion. You have no need to control anyone, and no one controls you either. Imagine living your life without judging others. You can easily forgive others and let go of any judgments that you have. You don't have the need to be right, and you don't need to make anyone else wrong. You respect yourself and everyone else, and they respect you in return. Imagine living without the fear of loving and not being loved. You are no longer afraid to be rejected, and you don't have the need to be accepted. I can say, I love you, with no shame or justification. You can walk in the world with your heart completely open and not be afraid to be hurt. Imagine living your life without being afraid to take a risk and to explore life. You're not afraid to lose anything. You're not afraid to be alive in the world. You're not afraid to die. Imagine that you love yourself just the way you are. You love your body just the way it is, and you love your emotions just the way they are. You know that you are perfect just as you are. The reason I ask you to imagine these things is because they are all entirely possible. You can live in the state of grace, the state of bliss, the dream of heaven. But in order to experience this dream, you must first understand what it is. Only love has the ability to put you in that state of bliss. Being in bliss is like being in love. Being in love is like being in bliss. You are floating in the clouds. You are perceiving love wherever you go. It is entirely possible to live this way all the time. It is possible because others have done it, and they are no different from you. They live in bliss because they have changed their agreements and are dreaming a different dream. Once you feel what it means to live in a state of bliss, you will love it. You will know that heaven on earth is truth, that heaven truly exists. Once you know that heaven exists, once you know it is possible to stay there, it is up to you to make the effort to do it. 2,000 years ago, Jesus told us about the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of love, but hardly anyone was ready to hear this. They said, "What are you talking about? My heart is empty. I don't feel love that you are talking about. I don't feel the peace that you have." You don't have to do this. Just imagine that his message of love is possible, and you will find that it is yours. The world is very beautiful and very wonderful. Life can be very easy when love is your way of life. You can be loving all the time. This is your choice. You may not have a reason to love, but you can love because to love makes you so happy. Love in action only produces happiness. Love will give you inner peace. It will change your perception of everything. You can see everything with the eyes of love. You can be aware that there is love all around you. When you live this way, there is no longer a fog in your mind. The matote has gone on a permanent vacation. This is what humans have been seeking for centuries. For thousands of years, we have been searching for happiness. Happiness is the lost paradise. Humans have worked so hard to reach this point, and this is part of the evolution of the mind. This is the future of humanity. The way of life is possible, and it's in your hands. Moses called it the promised land. Buddha called it nirvana. Jesus called it heaven. And the Toltecs call it a new dream. Unfortunately, your identity is mixed with the dream of the planet. All of your beliefs and agreements are there in the fog. You feel the presence of the parasite and believe it is you. This makes it difficult to let go, to release the parasite and create the space to experience love. You are attached to the judge, attached to the victim. Suffering makes you feel safe because you know it so well. But there is really no reason to suffer. The only reason you suffer is because you choose to suffer. If you look at your life, you will find many excuses to suffer. But a good reason to suffer you will not find. The same is true for happiness. The only reason you are happy is because you choose to be happy. Happiness is a choice, and so is suffering. Maybe we cannot escape from the destiny of the human, but we have a choice to suffer our destiny or to enjoy our destiny, to suffer or to love and be happy, to live in hell or to live in heaven. My choice is to live in heaven. What is yours? Ooh, it's so good. Yes. Okay, and then, wow. Okay, what? First of all, it's a choice. It is a choice. Because once you start thinking like positively and optimistically, things start changing and things start happening. I mean, it's not ever just a straight line once you figure that out, but man, is it easier. It's definitely easier. So, okay, and then the last part here, we got prayers. And I like how they have a little like thing on there. Yeah. So let's dig in. These are gonna be good, I bet. All right. Please take a moment to close your eyes, open your heart, and feel all the love that comes from your heart. I want you to join with my words in your mind and in your heart to feel a very strong connection of love. Together, we are going to do a very special prayer to experience a communion with our Creator. Focus your attention on your lungs, as if only your lungs exist. Feel the pleasure when your lungs expand to fulfill the biggest need of the human body, to breathe. Take a deep breath and feel the air as it fills your lungs. Feel how the air is nothing but love. Notice the connection between the air and the lungs, a connection of love. Expand your lungs with air until your body has the need to expel that air, and then exhale and feel the pleasure again. Because when we fulfill any need of the human body, it gives us pleasure. To breathe gives us much pleasure. Just to breathe is enough for us to always be happy, to enjoy life. Just to be alive is enough. Feel the pleasure to be alive, the pleasure of the feeling of love. That was good. That's true, though. If you're breathing, man, you're alive. That's true. Mm-hmm. It's a gift to be alive. Okay. Prayer for freedom. Today, Creator of the universe, we ask that you come to us and share with us a strong communion of love. We know that your real name is love, that to have a communion with you means to share the same vibration, the same frequency that you are, because you are the only thing that exists in the universe. Today, help us to be like you are, to love life, to be love. Help us to love the way you love, with no conditions, no expectations, no obligations, without any judgment. Help us to love and accept ourselves without any judgment, because when we judge ourselves, we find ourselves guilty and we need to be punished. Help us to love everything you create unconditionally, especially other human beings, especially those who live around us, all our relatives and people whom we try to so hard to love. Because when we reject them, we reject ourselves. And when we reject ourselves, we reject you. Help us to love others just the way they are with no conditions. Help us to accept them the way they are without judgment, because if we judge them, we find them guilty, we blame them, and we have the need to punish them. Today, clean our hearts of any emotional poison that we have. Free our minds from any judgments so that we can live in complete peace and complete love. Today is a very special day. Today, we open our hearts to love again so that we can tell each other, I love you, without any fear, and really mean it. Today, we offer ourselves to you. Come to us, use our voices, use our eyes, use our hands, and use our hearts to share ourselves in a communion of love with everyone. Today, Creator, help us to be just like you are, like you for everything that we receive this day, especially for the freedom to be who we really are. Amen. Whew, chills. Okay, prayer for love. We are going to share a beautiful dream together, a dream that you will love to have all the time. In this dream, you are in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear the birds, the wind, and a little river. You walk toward the river. At the edge of the river is an old man in meditation. And you see that out of his head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You try not to bother him, but he notices your presence and opens his eyes. He has the kind of eyes that are full of love and a big smile. You ask him how he is able to radiate all that beautiful light. You ask him if he can teach you to do what he is doing. He replies that many, many years ago, he asked the same question of his teacher. The old man begins to tell you his story. My teacher opened his chest and took out his heart, and he took a beautiful flame from his heart. Then he opened my chest, opened my heart, and he put that little flame inside of it. He put my heart back in my chest, and as soon as my heart was inside me, I felt intense love, because the flame he put in my heart was his own love. That flame grew in my heart and became a big, big fire. A fire that doesn't burn, but purifies everything that it touches. And that fire touched each one of the cells of my body, and the cells of my body loved me back. I became one with my body, but my love grew even more. That fire touched every emotion of my mind, and all the emotions transformed into a strong and intense love, and I loved myself completely and unconditionally. But the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a little piece of my love in every tree, and the trees loved me back, and I became one with the trees. But my love did not stop. It grew more. I put a piece of love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth, and they loved me back, and we became one. And my love grew more and more to love every animal in the world. They responded to my love, and they loved me back, and we became one. But my love kept growing and growing. I put a piece of my love in every crystal and every stone in the ground, in the dirt, in the metals, and they loved me back, and I became one with the earth. And then I decided to put my love in water, in the oceans, in the rivers, in the rain, in the snow, and they loved me back, and we became one. And still my love grew more and more. I decided to give my love to the air, to the wind. I felt a strong communion with the earth, with the wind, with the oceans, with nature, and my love grew and grew. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a little piece of my love in every star, in the moon, in the sun, and they loved me back. And I became one with the moon and the sun and the stars, and my love kept growing and growing. And I put a little piece of my love in every human, and I became one with the whole of humanity. Wherever I go, whomever I meet, I see myself in their eyes, because I am part of everything, because I love. And then the old man opens his own chest, takes out his heart with that beautiful flame inside, and puts that flame in your heart. And now that love is growing inside you. Now you are one with the wind, with the water, with the stars, with all of nature, with all animals, and with all humans. You feel the heat and the light emanating from the flame in your heart. Out of your head shines a beautiful light of different colors. You are radiant with the glow of love, and you pray. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything that I have ever truly needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this wonderful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for using my words, for using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are, and because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Help me to keep the love and the peace in my heart, and to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love the rest of my life. Amen. Wow. That was good. I'm like getting teary-eyed over here. It's just the dust in my eye. Whew. Wow. So powerful, especially that last one. That was good. I just felt connected. I felt the love. The fire's in my heart now. And now, if you're watching this, it could be in yours too. So we gotta spread that wildfire. Okay. And then also I'd like to add, just for the sake of being able to read this book, there's also other books that you can get. There's the Four Agreements companion book, which has additional insights, practice ideas, questions, and answers about applying the Four Agreements and true stories from people who have already transformed their lives. So if you'd like to dig in deeper to the Four Agreements to help you and to just try to get a grasp on them, there's other books. So there's the Four Agreements Illustrated Edition, 4-colored illustrated edition of this classic bestseller, which is cool. I never knew that there was an illustrated version. I'm kind of curious as to know what that would look like. But that would be cool. Okay, and then there's the Circle of Fire, formerly published as Prayers. Ruiz offers a beautiful collection of prayers and guided meditations that will inspire and transform your life, kind of like the last part of the Four Agreements. There's also The Voice of Knowledge. Ruiz transforms complex human issues into simple common sense. He tells us that all of our emotional suffering is because we believe in lies, mainly about ourselves, which actually sounds really good. I think that one would be a good one to read. And then there's The Mastery of Love. Ruiz shows us how to heal our emotional wounds, recover the joy and freedom that are our birthright, and restore the spirit of playfulness that is vital to loving relationships. So if you're struggling, relationship wise with yourself or with someone else, then that would be definitely a good one. And I've actually seen The Mastery of Love, probably not as much as the Four Agreements, but I've seen that one more, than any of the other ones. So I think that's usually what people would get after reading this one. And then there's also Toltec Wisdom card decks. So if you're into, cards and all that stuff, I'm sure it's kind of like a tarot card, but I don't know. Each deck contains 48 beautifully illustrated cards with wisdom from the Four Agreements and the Fifth Agreement. So now there's another book called The Fifth Agreement, Miguel Ruiz and his son, Jose Ruiz, offer another powerful agreement for transforming our lives. The fifth agreement encourages us to see the truth, to recover our authenticity, and to change the message we deliver, not only to ourselves, but to everyone around us. So I think that's probably more of the next step of action, is the fifth agreement, is to putting the four agreements in action more so. It's kind of what I get out of it. And then there's also two more, the Four Agreements Toltec Wisdom Collection, which is just the collection of the Four Agreements, the Mastery of Love, and the Voice of Knowledge, which those are actually the other two ones that I would like to read, the Mastery of Love and the Voice of Knowledge. So if you want to read all three, I would suggest getting the collection. And then the Four Agreements for a Better Life online course. Take the course and begin a journey of personal transformation unlike any other. Watch inspiring videos, deepen your understanding and practice of the Four Agreements, download a poster, read our blog, and become a member of a worldwide community of people who are dedicated to changing their lives for the better of practicing the Four Agreements. Enter code book0 blah 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 at checkout and receive a 20% discount. For more information, please visit the fouragreements.com. So yeah, they've definitely are trying to spread this as much as they can. I appreciate that. I think it's great. And I think the world needs more of the Four Agreements in their lives. So I hope that you take this to your heart and spread that wildfire of love. Starting with yourself, though. Stop beating yourself up. Okay. And then here's a little side thing I'd like to read about Don Miguel Ruiz. He was born into a family of healers and raised in rural Mexico by a curandera healer mother and a Nagal shaman grandfather. The family anticipated that Miguel would embrace their centuries-old legacy of healing and teaching and carry forward the esoteric Toltec knowledge instead. Distracted by modern life, Miguel chose to attend medical school and became a surgeon. A near-death experience changed his life. Late one night in the early 1970s, he awoke suddenly, having fallen asleep at the wheel of his car. At that instant, the car careened into a wall of concrete. Don Miguel remembers that he was not in his physical body as he watched himself pull his two friends to safety. Stunned by this experience, he began an intensive practice of self-inquiry. He devoted himself to the mastery of the ancient and ancestral wisdom, studying earnestly with his mother and completing an apprenticeship with a powerful shaman in the Mexican desert. His grandfather, who had since passed on, continued to teach him in his dreams. In the tradition of the Toltec and Nagal guides, an individual to personal freedom, Don Miguel Ruiz, and Miguel from the Eagle Knight lineage, has dedicated his life to sharing the wisdom of the ancient Toltec. So yeah, cool story there about the author. And man, this book is so awesome. Like, if you don't have it, you need to go buy it right now because it's good and it will change your life. If you just put a little bit of this into your everyday interactions with yourself and with everyone around you. And it's crazy because once you read it, you just notice it. You're like, oh man, like, holy crap. And you notice it not just with yourself, but everyone else struggles. Everyone, except for that random person meditating in the woods, emitting light, And I think the main thing with the Four Agreements too, first, is to, help yourself, understand yourself, free yourself first. It's kind of like the air mask things from the airplane crashing. You put your own on first, and then you help everyone else. You don't put your own on and then just sit there while everyone's struggling. You know what I mean? You got to spread that love. You can't just fix yourself and then that's it. That's kind of where I feel like some people, they just like, oh, I'm good. And then, don't help their neighbor. They don't, help their family and friends that they love with this as well, and I feel like once we start to spread it out And that's why he's got books and websites and stuff that, will just keep spreading love and joy throughout the world. And we can change the dream of the earth from like a hellish, crazy, greedy, scandalous, violent earth that we live in to more of a like happy, joyful, loving one. And I hope that's the direction that humans go. So, okay, there it is. The 4 agreements. We're done. Wrapped it up. And actually, like I kind of want to buy the other 2 now. When I first read this, I was like, okay, I got it. I'm kind of good. But now, as I'm older, I'm like, okay, I kind of want to dig into this a little more. So, thank you, Don Miguel Ruiz, for sharing your knowledge with us, and thank you for watching this reading with Drew. So, I hope you have an excellent day, and I hope you implement these 4 agreements in some sort of way, but no pressure. Okay, don't beat yourself up. And I love you. See you.